Hello, this is Dana, and I am coming on for a very quick but new video, and it's mainly because I have been pushed inside of me to do this. And so, if you're interested in hearing about the journey that I'm on right now, and also for me to extend an invitation for you to join me, well, then stick around. If not, I will hopefully see you on the next video. And so, for everyone else that is sticking around, I'm going to get to the content of this video before I lose my nerve. So, here we go. So if you follow Kim Cash Tate, and I hope that I'm saying all of that correct, but I believe I am, then she has been on this very interesting journey that she has been sharing her faith walk on her YouTube channel. I've been following it, and I've been very, I don't want to say convicted, but that's the best word that I can use right now, to kind of hop on camera and do something that I just got to kind of back up. I honestly have been having a mind to do this for a while, and watching her go through the steps and share her journey has really challenged me. That's the better word, challenged me to come on and kind of talk about what I've been going through. And I really consider it a journey, but it's more so about a faith walk. So before I get into what that journey has been about, I've got to do my caveat. I'm in an open space, so you may see my kids go by, my husband go by. They usually will just walk by, but don't let it stop you from being focused. But I didn't want to honestly just record this. You can't just wait for the perfect time. So this video will not be about production, but more so about content. So at the end of last year, I kind of had a talk with myself and realized that I wanted to take my writing to full time. I published my first book in, I'm awful with dates, but I believe it was 2010, which is absolutely nuts for me to say. But as honestly, at that time, I worked primarily in book marketing on a contract basis, and I did write my first book as a challenge to myself of getting it done, and I did it. And after that, I really was just working with clients and about working for clients full time. So my time and my work and my effort went into client projects. I designed book covers. I worked on the back end of production, of formatting, layout, some editing. And so I really was just on the mindset of working on client projects and not on my own. And then a few years ago, really meaning somewhere around 3 to 5, I don't know the exact time frame, I moved out of that space and only worked with existing clients for the past few years. It's a handful of them, and because they only do maybe a project every year to 18 months, it meant that I was only working on maybe 5 to maybe 10 projects a year, doing some speaking where I would do workshops on writing and publishing, and pretty much that was it. And then at the end of last year, I really just could not shake the fact that I had not done the work that I needed to do with my publishing company, which is Purpose Prevails Publishing. And it just challenged me. And so what I did is, instead of worrying about what would my next step be, I kind of just took the mindset of, now what? What do you want to do with this? What will your next steps be, etc. So what I did around the third quarter of last year, I just sat down and I worked at it. If you were to do this hypothetically full time, what would that look like? And I sketched out my year, sketched out my plans. My area of expertise was in marketing and strategy, and I just thought of my publishing company and building up my brand and my writing from the perspective of me as a professional being hired by this client, and totally did it as this third party objective view of what would I do if a client came to me and they were in my same position. So I wrote it all out. I could show you, and I've showed some before in some of my previous videos. Like, this is my business journal. I have plans and sketches in there, and then I had a book where I kind of outlined everything and everything from my budget and my goals. And I honestly, real talk on this video, and that's kind of what I would like for this journey to be, just transparency. I was starting from ground zero. I mean, I had the benefits of having a book that was and still is pretty successful for being an indie published project, but that was it. I had a anthology that I done that was for a limited time, which I love doing anthologies, and that was it. Like, I was the talent, and so I apologize for that. And so I had to start from scratch. Newsletter, had some stuff, but I didn't put a lot of time into building my newsletter. At that time, I think I had maybe 100 or so. I hadn't done a lot of work, because the disservice was that I knew how to market and promote, but the disservice to myself was that I spent the time in other people's work, and I worked primarily on a referral basis. And because I have a small team, then that meant that the referral basis was enough to keep me from having to market myself and my work. And my book, I spent some time marketing it when it launched forever ago, but it did pretty well with the first release, and then kind of did a reboot when I did another prequel, and so I was starting from scratch. Technically speaking, I don't consider it scratch because I had the knowledge in my head, but I hadn't implemented it in my own business. So that's where I was. So in the last quarter, I sat down and went over that, and I had a come to heart meeting and a one-on-one with my husband, because we have a website development and marketing firm, and my proposition was that I would spend the year of 2017 focus solely on the publishing company, which meant I would only be available on a limited basis for our company, and showed him my plans, kind of gave him some sort of idea of what I thought that would mean, time-wise and everything, and honestly seeking his support and approval, because that's my husband. And that was kind of, it went off from there. So that meant that not only did I have to get going from scratch, but I had to write a book. I had to oversee and manage an anthology that I had prepared as kind of one of those. I wanted to revive the publishing company, and I thought having a single title, a novel release, as well as the anthology would help in facilitating that process. Yeah, this is not pre-scripted. So that is where I entered the gate of January 2017. Right now is July, and it's been 6 months. Oh, now we're in the 7th month, but it's been 6 months of work. And so here's the invitation. If, I think what I will do is if I get maybe, oh, this is so hard. This is so hard. I don't know how she does this. Okay. And I'll tell you why it's so hard. I'm going to extend the invitation. I'm going to tell you why it's hard. Okay. Before I extend the invitation, another caveat other than the fact that I'm in an open space is like, I keep it like real 100. And I think that has been so hard about doing this video because I know that I wouldn't be able to sugarcoat anything. But I feel as though a lot of the narrative around developing books and developing, growing your fan base and all of that I have not seen that done from the perspective of someone that does write primarily African American characters. And that primarily at this point, even though more is coming, I write under a pen name that is fiction. And so I thought it as a hunch before, but now I kind of believe it's a fact that it's different. It's really, really different. And that has been a blessing and a curse. It just has. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to change that. But I do have some ideas of how I want to test this theory that I believe is a fact. So I do. So with that said, the invitation is this a topic or is this a narrative and a blog journey that you are interested in seeing? Again, it would not be about production, but about content. So I would answer any questions, whether it's about writing, whether it's about what I'm doing, whether it's about promotion, and even if it's just theory about what I plan to do. I could even start in the beginning about some of the questions that I get a lot and like that I do workshops on, like outlining, creating characters, also doing, I do book coaching on both fiction and nonfiction of developing content. And so that it would be open. But really, I think the basis of this is, what am I doing and is it working? And if it's not working, what adjustments am I planning to make and what I intend to make? And also I would love, and I think those topics are universal. And if there's anything that I think it's specific to whether it's genre, because I write in romantic suspense, sweet romance, contemporary romance, in those three areas. And the sweet is also in the inspirational line. And then eventually there is some nonfiction, Christian nonfiction that I am slowly writing on, but that I want to explore, but I just don't think I have the bandwidth to go there just yet. So I think that a lot of it would be somewhat universal in structure, form, but then there's some narratives that are very specific, and then I would address those individually as they arise. So I don't know, like, I guess what I would think is if I kind of get some like thumbs up or comments like, yes, we would like to hear it. Or even if in this video you have questions, then that will be a jump start. But I think I'm saying that, and I really feel like it's just like, go for it, Dana. So with that said, leave a comment with questions like, yes, I'm interested, or, this is something that you like. If it's a specific area that you would like for me to kind of address, that will be, because that kind of gives content, because in the beginning right now, it's honestly grind mode. And I think I'll talk about that in the next video. So my goal is to do something like this very informally, weekly, maybe. Y'all see my face. Because, at the first video, which I will do next week, will really be focused on what my plan was, and maybe I will start doing some content that will cover what I've done up into over this first 6 months, and then after that I can go into what I'm working on, which technically would be my future works, but by that time I would already have it underway, and that'll kind of give me a little bit of cushion, and it'll give me some time to think about what I'm doing, as well as share what I'm doing and any feedback or things I would do differently or thoughts about it. In closing, why I kind of felt like this was the time to do it. Oh, and I guess I probably should say, I expect the videos to be somewhere around 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to try my best to do that. If you follow my craft and blog channel, you know I love to chat. So I'm trying not to do that because I need to get to work. So why I wanted to do this. On my recent live vlog video for my crafting channel, I talked about how, there are times where we can disqualify ourselves from what God is doing in our lives. And it just hinders us from taking the next steps. And it hinders us because it weakens our faith, and it leans us more towards doubt than belief. Against unbelief versus belief. And it also, and someone else is going to run by to get that. But I think what it does more than anything is it just disrupts our faith. And it's just this tumbling effect that can happen after that. And that is probably the hardest part about it. And so as I've gone into this first 6 months, I realized that I really believe that I should have done this a long time ago. But Kim's video described my plight so well, in that I usually know and get the feeling that God is pointing me and the Spirit is pointing me in a direction. And I try my best to act on it because I understand that faith is an action, right? And but this particular thing of doing publishing full time, I felt like I should share it, but I just didn't know, right? Because the thought of, what if you do this and you're absolutely crazy? What if you do this and it doesn't work? What if you do this and you have no idea what you're doing, right? So partial obedience is full disobedience, right? I know, stinging right now. So when I saw that video, it was just like, oh, heart racing, but holding your breath, feeling challenged, feeling slightly convicted, feeling encouraged by her boldness and her courageousness, and feeling as if in that moment she was speaking dead on to me. And we all can feel that way, but nothing is by coincidence or chance. And so it's led me here. Now, granted, it's taken me a few weeks to get here. But at the time of this recording, I am doing a course correct. And I felt as if as I do the course correct, this is a great time to just allow this to be a example of my faith walk and my mission to be obedient to what I've been given. And so with that said, as I close this video, I'm watching the time. As I close this video, I'm going to do a mini update, and I will be watching this video nervously to see what happens, but I'll be watching this video. If you have comments, questions, concerns, in the description box, subscribe to my channel. In the description box, I will be placing the link to my fiction work as Janice Dixon. I will also be putting the link to my publishing website, which is Purpose Prevails Publishing. And I will do a end of the video kind of run through stats that I kind of want to work on before the next video, or goals for the next week. So for the next week, I am in the tail end of finishing the first draft of a novel. And it's very interesting because this particular novel novella slash novel. I just got to say that because I'm thinking it's going to be around the novella length. But I'm on the tail end of it. I think I only have about a quarter of it left. And right now I'm at about, I think I'm at maybe 35,000 words, something in there. I can't remember. I want to have the first draft done by the time that I record this video, the next installment of this blog series. And so that means finishing the novel. I also have another story summary that I would like to complete before the next recording. So that's finishing the novel and completing a story summary, which I use as a precursor to my outline. I am an outliner. And so I would like to have both of those things done. And so that's writing. And then for marketing, by the time I record the next video, my recent release, which is Love's Hope, I will be closing out the giveaway for that. And so I will put the information for that in the description box. But I'll be closing out the giveaway for that. And I will, I guess, pretty much, I don't know if it makes me so nervous. I guess what I can also do is really do a reflection on how I thought that launch went. It wasn't a full-blown launch since it was a re-release, but there were some techniques and stuff that I did for that launch that were a first-time experience for me, and I could potentially share that. So I want to close out that for marketing, and then by the time I come back, the next marketing focus will be on a blog hop for my fiction work. Blog hop. And what else? So that's writing, that's marketing, and I can kind of start there. If there's any other things, whatever, I'll just go by the questions, and I think that'll be a good thing because it kind of will be a little bit like accountability and at the same time reflection. And so that's it. So if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them below. If you're interested in seeing more videos along this line, let me know. If you are a writer or an indie publisher, I'd love to know what are some of your greatest challenges, whether it's on the writer side of getting ideas, developing those ideas, outlining your books. If it's on the side of indie publishing, how do you create an audience? How do you market your work? And by no means am I a pro, but I do have years of experience. I guess that brings it brings a different perspective to the table. And I look forward to any of your questions because this channel, I only have a few subscribers. So we're going to be working with that, right? We're going to work with what we have. So that is it. Look in the description bar for all the other information, including Kim's video that really kind of just like sucker punched me. I know that was not her intent, but that's what it did. The sucker punch. And also, I look forward to coming back with letting you know how I fare with those goals. I think, setting goals and stating them and following through are so important. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to talking with you all hopefully sooner than later. Take care and have a great day. Goodbye.